Shalom, people. This is Brother Loss coming at you with another video. And I already did a video on my thoughts about the outcome of the Botham Shem murder trial. But my wife, she's been following it as much as I had, and even where we were praying and he was donating to the family, just trying to make sure that the brother got a fair trial. And as everyone knows now, he got half of the trial was, I believe, fair, but the sentencing part to me was very disappointing. And then also the reaction of the family was kind of disappointing. So I think it was a partial victory, but then to follow that up with the death of Joshua Brown was it kind of was a real depressing situation. The all of the combination of it. My wife, I was gonna do a video together a couple of days ago when it happened, but she was not she said she wasn't in the proper frame of mind to say anything about it. But I think now she probably have something to say about her thoughts on the outcome.
Yes, my thoughts on the outcome, I'm not pleased with it because a lot of people sacrifice their time and energy, and they even sacrifice their life, putting their life on the line, and I thought that it wasn't a lot of consideration put in them making a decision. I just was so hurt. I don't see how he came to that conclusion of forgiving her after killing his brother, who was not doing anything at all, was minding his own business in his own place. And also, it was proven that she lied to ask her, did you mean to kill him? Botham Shem. And she said yes. So I don't understand why he feel that he would have forgiven him, because he was in the prime of his life. He was an accountant. He was happy. He was going to a church, Christian church, where he was very active in, and also he loved his family. So for the brother to say that, he thought that he would forgive her, I don't think that he would have felt that way if he was alive or he survived to be able to say the same. I was just really hurt in my spirit because it also was a mark on our black men here in America, and I know in other countries as well, but particularly here in America, going through the phases that we have been going through for many years, and them being persecuted, lynched, lied on, beaten, shot, where they've killed them. I don't think that it represented how they felt, and it basically made them like a target for white America to say, well, they don't care, then we don't care either. I know a lot of them were shocked, and they were saying, I wouldn't have done it. And, like my husband have told me before, if you don't stand up for yourself to white America, they will have no respect for you.
Yeah.
And I just felt like he disrespected and didn't take into consideration the other people of color all over the world that is being mistreated, even as I speak
Yeah.
right now.
And let us be clear. We understand what the scriptures say about forgiving your enemy, but we believe that we are the original people. We are the Hebrews of the Bible.
Yes.
And when Yeshua gave that scripture, he was giving it to his people who were under occupation, and he was not directing it toward them to have sympathy for the Roman army that was occupying them. He gave that for them to extend that to their fellow brethren who are also suffering. Not to say that if that had been another black man that had killed Botham Shem, that he would have wanted him not to do his prison sentence. But if any person would have had the extension of the forgiveness, which of course you asked for it, it should have been somebody of color, because if you're a person that's in authority, you don't really need the forgiveness, because you're gonna be able to do what you want, and I like also the fact that someone pointed out, and I also thought about it a lot. A lot of times the forgiveness is always extended toward them, because to me, by black people, is it because they are in control of the situation, and it's almost like, well, I ain't got no other recourse but to forgive them, because it's almost like automatic. It's done without any thinking, because I know it's a phase somewhere in there with forgiveness where you got the anger, but with black people, they're not even allowed to get angry. They gotta automatically forgive them, and then they deal with the anger some other kind of way, usually by taking it out on other black people. But we don't have that same energy directed toward each other. We have a different kind of energy of hatred and malice, and you can do the smallest thing and it'll be held against you. But with them, it's almost like, and I like what one of I seen what I think it was Willie D. He said to him is more of a cowardice that you can't get yourself to do or say the right thing, which is to mete out the justice, because it is not a prohibition by Yah to say you want justice for yourself, and then still say, well, forgiveness. How can you have justice and forgiveness? They're two different. One is for your spiritual release, but that doesn't release that person that did the deed from the sentence that they need. And this has been a Vulcan mind probe they have done on us. They reached down to our psyche when we first got here and gave us that, and they put it down into our subconscious, and because of this, we feel that our life is not on the same level as theirs. That's why you just couldn't casually say that if you kill one of them, you couldn't just casually say I forget. They would be like, nah, they don't accept it. You could have been on bended knees and whatever, cut your heart out, and they're just not gonna, it's not gonna float with them. And the other thing is also the fact that if we continue to care about the oppressor, how he feels, then we'll never be able to concentrate on us getting up out of our dismal situation, because we will be wanting to not offend them, not just in the forgiveness part, but even when we talk about Black history, that it offends them, and we say, well, we can't do that because that's not loving.
Mm-hmm.
We must break the power of the iconography and everything that has been put in front of us. As I stated in some of my videos, we will never get ahead if we don't do that. And I'll say this on the situation with him forgiving Amber Geiger. Why couldn't it have been that, hey, you do it after the cameras,
Mm-hmm.
after the trial is over with, but right now you trying to do an impact statement for your brother. You trying to concentrate on him, not on the person that just got convicted of murder. It's not about her. It was about his brother. And also, if his brother would have forgiven her, we know that he was still alive. He seen her, and you can hear him on the video telling her, "Why did you do that? If he had really wanted, and he knowing he dying, why didn't he say, whoever you are, come over here and I forgive you for shooting me?" No, he was like, "Why did you shoot me? Why did you do that?"
That's right.
He was struggling for his life, and then the fact that she wouldn't even go over there and help him. She just let him bleed out. You didn't have no words of correction for her. You automatically moved toward that. But even beyond that, because we know that the jury was not there when he stated these things. They said they had made their decision and they came out, which makes their decision even more atrocious to me, because they was back there in the back doing the very same thing, saying, "Oh, we can't give her 28 years." What? What does the man's life mean? Oh, well, and you knowing, or at least it's, you should know that if you giving her 10 years, she's not gonna do 10 years. She might do half of that. And knowing that it's just, you got people that have lesser charges, even on the equivalency of that, some of the black, one of the black jurors that said it matter of factly, "Oh, I don't think she deserved 20. What can you go after this trial is over with and go down to Dallas and tell all the people down there, all you the black people that you got locked up for lesser charges for a long time, state the same thing about them. We is not a sin for us to look out for ourselves like everybody else. Y'all put that in everybody else. We ain't no different. We have become a dependent people since we have, and that's not good. I can just say that about myself. I had to break this Christianity mindset that I had years ago with that, even with them, getting upset about Martin Luther King Day, or any other day that we might bring out, or Kwanzaa. Don't get me wrong, I don't celebrate Kwanzaa. I never have, but when black people first started doing it, they was looking at you crazy, even though we know Christmas is a pagan holiday. And we let them shame us about that, right? So they have I believe it's a different mindset because of who we are, even though I know it still was some black people that was involved in the trial that was still had that same mindset as Botham Jean's brother, that I like, it's more about Amber than him, because you can see it in the bailiff that was stroking her hair, and you could also see it in the judge that came down off the bench, which is not protocol, which is can be she could get censored or whatever. And I think she's under investigation for that. That she was not supposed to do that, even though the sentence had already been made and everything. It still was not a good look, right? And so it's just not the people in the islands. We still have a lot of people here in America that have that, but more and more we are trying to get our mind, on the same frequency with what the Bible actually says about your enemy, what you're supposed to do with your enemy who is outside of Israel. Because David, if you read the Psalms, we talked about that today. Most of the Psalms that you see that David wrote was about Yah destroying the enemies of Israel.
Yes.
I'll let my wife say some more.
Yeah, I read a scripture earlier this evening, and it was talking about that God is not going to come back until He put down all authority and all power, wicked, wicked power, before He gives us justice. So we have to be mindful of those that are in control and in power now, that they don't mean us any good. A lot of them don't. Not all of them, but a lot of them don't mean
The
us any
system,
good.
it doesn't mean it's
Yes.
any good.
And they want to keep us underfoot. They want us to be docile.
Yeah.
So we need to break this among us as the people of God and learn how to stand up for ourselves and to know who we are, that we are Judah, and that it's time for us to stand up for ourselves and for one another.
Yes.
And stop hating one another.
Yes.
And start supporting one another and being in each other's corner, because who else do we have? All we have is ourselves.
Yes.
We can't just go to other countries and they receive us readily. You know what's happening with the Bahamians trying to go through Mexico. They're not even going to let them get through. And the Africans that's trying to go through, and even other Hispanic countries that's trying to go through. They're putting them down. They're not going to let them come through. So that should be a revelation itself of how they feel about us. People of color, especially Hebrews and people that are of the Negroid descent, that we are not treated like we should be as a people, and we have to stop being so gullible to think that they feel the same way about us, as far as having rights and as far as having mercy on us if we had did a criminal act. And so many of our men, in particular women too, that are behind bars for lesser crimes.
Shameful.
I just read the other day, it was a man that was in the military. He served his country and he couldn't find a job, so he resorted to selling marijuana, and he was caught with 0.48 milligrams of marijuana, and that's the equivalent of 2 joints. Now, he had done other crimes.
Non-violent crimes.
Yes. And when they eventually got done with him, going through the judicial system, that he ends up with life without parole. That's ridiculous.
And I think that was back in the 80s when they was doing them mandatory minimums.
Yes,
and it was
exactly.
unbending. Even if the judge, because I even remember some of the judges back there at that time said they didn't like it because it didn't give them any leeway, but that was written in by the Congress, right? And you didn't hear any white churches crying out about that, saying y'all doing the black people wrong. And most of the people that probably was working in some of these small towns where they was building all of these prisons were probably members of some of these churches, right? So that's not to say that it wasn't some people that probably did some things, but overall we know there are a lot of people that was, and some of them were innocent and some of them was not at the scale that they should have been locked up that long. Most of the people that didn't deserve it got locked up. And out of the big ones who had enough money to get high-powered lawyers, a lot of them got off or was under some kind of witness protection program because they was ratting out somebody else. But the street soldiers, the ones that supposedly was not supposed to get caught up, a lot of them was the ones that got it, because if they didn't give them any information,
Mm-hmm.
They would just throw them in there,
Yes.
you know,
Three strikes out.
I could have been one of them, you know, if it wasn't for the grace of the Most High that, you know, I went, you know, you know, went into the military and did what I did. I probably could have got caught up in the street life and been like some of my friends that ended up dying or going to prison, whatever. And so, you know, even with the revisionist of the history, how we know most of the stuff that we are taught, were taught, or even now is not true. That if we a lot of us are even fearful to stand up and say, hey, that's not true. Even to the fact of who we are, we know more and more. Even some of their people are coming out to validate, you know. And the thing about it is, most of the material that was written was their home people.
Yes.
But look at what happened with the slave Bible. Did we ever get a apology from any of the mainline white churches about the slave Bible? Why did you only give us part of a Bible? And if you know, concerning our quote unquote soul, why would you do that? And you know, not, you know, and how do we even know now that we everything that we read in there, because we know it was used against us. So this tactic, it is a tactic of this forgiveness stuff. Okay, think about this. We're gonna try to make this video short. In what they call the Lord's Prayer, which it wasn't the Yeshua's prayer. He was teaching his disciples how to pray. Part of that part, yeah, we know, forgive our trespasses as we forgive forgive us of our trespasses, we forgive those that trespass. But also within that prayer, he said, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. The word is actually a noun. He said, deliver me from the evil one, Satan, and his workers. So why would he say, okay, I'm going to forgive him and I'm going to let him beat me up? No, he said, Father, don't let me fall in the hands of these wicked people. Yeah. Deliver me from the evil one.
Yes.
So do you understand what I'm saying? He was trespassers had to do with the law. And the Israelites, the ones that knew about the law. A Roman could not trespass the law because he did not know the law.
Yes.
He was talking about amongst Israelites when they trespassed me. And that also did not alleviate them from getting the punishment. They still could get the punishment. They still could get stoned. Think about the woman that was caught in adultery. Yeshua never told them that they was wrong for wanting to stone her. He said that you that have not committed the same sin, you take the stone, because he knew that them among them had slept with her. So because they wasn't willing to step up and allow themselves to be stoned, he said, then nobody can condemn you. I don't condemn you. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? See how they try to switch it around? Say, well, you was going to. So all this stuff that happened with us on the plantation, where our women was being raped, our men was being raped, our children was being raped. He didn't mean for us to turn around and tell that slave master, oh, I forgive you. And all that. He meant for us to stand up for ourselves and beat out the punishment for that wickedness. That's why Nat Turner did the rebellion, because of what they did to his wife. You tell me that was not, that was a righteous act, because he said he that doesn't take care of his family is worse than an infidel, right? So that's not, you let them take. One of the things few things that I learned from some of these Bible schools and stuff that I went to was that you can't take one scripture and make a whole doctrine. They made a whole doctrine of black people having to forgive when something horrendous happened to us. And the ones that have not fell into that trap have changed the course of history. Think about Emmett Till's mother. If she had been concentrating on the men that did that to her boy, she was putting the focus on her son and say, you dirty rats, I'm going to show them how dirty you are. I'm going to let his casket be open. Now, what if she had said, well, that'll make them look bad if I do that? The civil rights movement wouldn't have never been ignited. That ignited not only black people but white people in the North when they seen it. They said, man, our peoples were wicked than what we thought.
Yes.
So let's stop this, because if you think about it, man, I'm gonna let my wife say something. I'm gonna say this real quick. Most of you is like, well, I gotta forgive, so I won't go to hell because okay, think about this. Even if that's so, which that's not so, because he said, "Be ye angry, sin not," right? So you gotta be able to go through the process of processing the anger first, right? Okay, so let's say this. Paul himself said when it came to his people blindness, he said, you know what? I would wish that I would go to hell so that their eyes would be open. Most people, I wouldn't do that. You know why we say that? Because we become selfish. We have become such self-preservationists. That's the first thing we think about. Oh, I gotta forgive. And I understand people talking about carrying business. I've been there. I understand what you're saying, but you are right off the bat saying, can't be angry, can't express frustration or whatever. That's gonna cause problems. I'm telling you. And again, it was supposed to be directed toward our own people, not those that was actively trying to destroy us.
Yes. And with Amber Geiger, she got away with a whole lot of wickedness. And when they came into his apartment, they did a demonstration of how she could have helped him. And when they played back the camera, the body cam, she was just raising a hand, saying there's nothing I can do, basically. And then they made her go out because she really wasn't making any sense, because she should have been there on the floor helping him. And they were explaining how he was suffering and how he laid out on that floor and how he was gasping, for help. And they sent her out. She's in the walkway texting. So you mean to tell me you're going to forgive her? She didn't have your brother in mind when he was dying. And then yet you have your mind on her about how she was feeling or how she is doing. Did she do that or extend that to your brother? No, she didn't. So that's another reason why I was upset. How even the jurors were giving her such a light sentence after hearing all the evidence. How could you have done that? But once again,
our lives don't matter.
Yeah, we're gullible. We feel that we always have to forgive them for everything, but yet they want to extend the same thing to and for us.
And know this goes back to this Christianity thing. We've been doing all this stuff for over 400 years. We've been doing what the Bible says. And has our situation got any better? No. You know why? Because they are our rightful enemy. Yes. When we pray for them and when we extend that, Yah has no other recourse but to continue to bless them but think about this. I can't say that for the slaves, because we know that them slaves was on that plantation trying to escape. We know it was more slave revolts than what they said, and we know that when they was out there in that field, they were saying, come by here, y'all come by here. They were saying, come by here and deliver us out of this place. There wasn't. Now, we know that it was some Uncle Sambos and Uncle Toms and people doing manumission, trying to make life better for themselves. But overall, this is why I believe y'all delivered them out of that, the Chantil slavery, because they was actively not sitting there, thinking about the master. They was thinking about, man, y'all, you gotta come past here and judge these people. And look what happened. The Civil War happened.
Yes.
The Civil War. It was so many times even before the Civil War happened that they could have had overran the South and taken over the South, but it wasn't for other black slaves that having sympathy and having concern about the master that went and ratted out their brothers that was getting ready to free themselves. They said, I can't have that. They can't escape. That ain't right. The master, he done did all this. I gotta go tell him what? And then sometimes they probably wouldn't. They probably said, we just gonna kill all y'all. And I'm sorry you told on them, but I'm gonna have to kill you too. What, master? What? Yeah, boy, I really appreciate that. And I'll give you an extra piece of cornbread as your last meal, but you gonna have to die too, idiot. You see what I'm saying? No.
It's just like you said, if you don't put up a fight or resistance, they are not gonna have no respect for you. But anybody, if you don't respect yourself, you shouldn't expect other people to treat you with respect.
Look at Harriet Tubman, what she said. She said she didn't bring them guns just for the slave catchers. She brought them for the people that was with them because she knew probably that some of their mentality was, I don't know if I should be leaving the plantation. Master might come. I was supposed to plant a row of potatoes for him today. You better get out. Let's go. If you don't go, this gun is going to be for you. I'm going to kill you. Because your mind is twisted. Still captive, just like the elephant in the circus. And thank Most High Yah that I think most of the circuses are going out of business where they had the animals and caged up and was doing all the torment to them and everything, animals that were supposed to be out there in the wild and everything, and we have basically been the same way, you know, very powerful physically, but our minds easily to be manipulated, especially by their iconography and by their words, their voices. Now, do you know that it is against the law to... No. What did Martin Luther King say? Martin Luther King said, "It's never unjust to not obey an unjust law." He said it's an unjust law. So I admit I'm breaking the law, but it's an unjust law, so I don't care. I don't care. So that's the same way with you defending yourself. Let them bring the scriptures against you all they want to. They're not using it in proper context. And you don't have to sit there and do it. And if other blacks do it, I don't care, these bishops, pastors, whoever that tell you that don't do that, because do we extend that same thing to us? We wouldn't have all this killing and gang wars and stuff in America amongst us if that was the case, right? So Black Lives Matter to me, which I'm not a member of Black Lives Matter, so I don't really know a lot, but I do think the slogan is a good awareness thing, because it just states what is the obvious. Our lives matter too.
And Harriet Tubman said it best when she said, I could have freed them 100 times if they...
Yeah, she said, I freed 1,000 slaves, but I could have freed 1,000 more.
If they only knew they were slaves.
That's right.
And a lot of people, our people that are in Christianity, they could have been, or they can now be free if they only know that they're to slavery with mind control, and slavery with not having wisdom and knowledge, like the Bible said, of my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray. Then when he
He will hear from heaven,
and
forgive our sins and heal our land.
Yeah, so we're in slavery even now today.
Yes. But we waking up. It's a painful thing, but we are waking up. because
Yes.
I never seen so many black people stirred up about what happened with this
Yes.
trial that were really really upset because people put money, time. Some of
Mhm.
them like Bunny Bams
Put
and
their life on
Joshua
the
put their
line.
life on the line. Now, I'll say this up front. I don't know if Joshua Brown, if it was a hit. The reports, which are not official, not from the coroner, is saying he got shot in the mouth and in the heart. We don't know that though, because the coroner's report will tell you, and they'll have to tell the family first. So
Mhm.
let's wait and see what the family say.
Mhm.
But if it is true, then it will be the Botham Shem family need to extend to them apology
Mhm.
for
Them
not
losing.
casting his work to the side like it wasn't anything and not considered. Now the brother is trying to come out and say, well, I didn't know the cameras were still rolling or whatever.
But
Even
it
if the
doesn't
cameras wasn't,
matter.
you shouldn't have did that to
That
her.
was in your heart.
You could have just waited till she got in prison or whatever and came back later and said,
If you
okay,
want
I'll
to
call
visit,
you
go do it
and
then.
do that. But that it was too many people. And then to see the films of him on that floor bleeding out,
Oh,
why,
sad.
and gasping for air. Did you not think your brother was in
Right.
awful pain? That
Yes.
you almost like, I don't want her to feel the same pain he felt. When was she ever get any not real remorse, but also the fact that, man, I gotta pay for this, because if not, she will be just like
She
George
haven't learned her
Zimmerman.
lesson.
Yeah, like my wife said about George Zimmerman, cause he got off, he feel like he can do anything.
Yeah. And white America is promoting that. They're sending, when they do stuff like this and allow stuff like this to happen, they're sending a signal to us: you will always be under our feet and under our authority. Because this should have been, I haven't seen a lot of YouTube where white American, other uh, people, other nations, and other people haven't saying this is not right.
Hmm.
I haven't seen it.
I seen
I
a
couldn't.
few, but they not arguing it
Yeah.
down like they're like, yeah, I will,
If they
it's unfair.
really
Yeah,
said they want
yeah,
to have forgiveness,
yeah,
if they really said that it was wrong,
yeah.
I don't hear an outcry about it.
No,
Like they
yeah.
have all these videos posting about Botham Shem
Hmm.
and about
Most of them are out.
Joshua Brown.
Yeah,
Where are the other videos?
yeah, yeah.
I don't even hear the churches, Christian churches, saying they're outraged. I know there's some, but not as many that it should be.
Yeah.
This religion that they brought to us.
Because they're not gonna concentrate on the trial. They're gonna concentrate on the forgiveness part, and they're gonna say that's the way to be. All
Right.
right, that's what they're gonna. They probably say it was something good that came out of this. No, nothing good came out of this, except that
Shame.
maybe to wake us up
Yes.
that you know, hey, you better stop being naive.
Yes.
All right, because it's just like right now in a lot of cities they're having uh, because people are moving further out into places that are wild, allow now, and they bring their little their pets, these wild animals like bears and coyotes and mountain lions or whatever, are preying on these the people's little domestic animals, and
Mm.
they got these cameras and stuff. This you can go to YouTube and see it, and they'll be showing these wild animals just coming up and snatching dogs and cats and stuff.
Mm.
But you will see on a lot of those videos where them dogs will turn and fight the thing off, cause they're like, I'm not gonna be no easy prey. But then sometimes you'll see, like I seen one, and I'm not gonna be long. It was a big dog, and this cougar or mountain lion came up on the thing, and it grabbed that thing at the right angle and behind the neck and ran off with the thing
Mm.
out into the
Mm.
night. It didn't give up a fight. But then I seen one where it was a little dog, and it scared, I guess he stood up and kind of shook the thing up. So we have to do the same way. We
Yeah.
gotta fight back. We can't just bend our neck and say, "Yo, here, just grab me by the neck and just drive me on and eat me. Just go on and eat me."
Yes.
So you gonna have to fight for this meal. You know, and so, you know, we again read where they say they're going back to islands, and you know, probably ain't gonna come back here again maybe until they have the civil case, because I think they're gonna have the civil case where they're trying to sue the city of Dallas or whatever. But we just learn from this and start praying for our deliverance, right? From
Yes.
this situation. Start praying for deliverance, not just for our people here, but all over the world.
Yes.
Because, you know, the Bible said that Judah is going to be the inside. It's going to be the one that his brother's going to look to see what we do.
Yes.
Right? And get their desire to, hey, rise up and get some self-determination. So let's remember that, you know, when we see another trial or something like that, that we make it explicit that if I'm gonna support whoever this is, you gotta follow through too. You can't get there at the end and then say, it ain't no big deal. I don't even. You know what? I say this, and I'm gonna let my wife in. Even if the forgiveness part was bad, but the part even before he hugged her, that was to me the worst part was when he said, "I wish she wouldn't even have to go to jail." See, if he had just said, yes, "I forgive you, I hug you," I would have been upset. But when you said you wish she wouldn't go to jail, that to me is what took the cake. No, what do you mean you wish? And then you gonna say your brother would think the same way? I don't believe that one bit. No, sir. Because why would they throw out all her cases? And her partner, now he's under investigation because apparently he had shot and killed a black boy back in 2007 or something like that, I think. And they say he had a candy bar in his hand or something. So I'll let my wife in.
I just want to tell you everything you said has been well said. And we ask that you please pray for us and that we pray for one another and lift each other up, because all we have is us.
And y'all.
And exactly. And we need to stop coming against each other, especially when we're standing up for righteousness. So we won't be in God's way and God's judgment to come upon us. So that's all I have to say.
And I'd like to say, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, like, share,
subscribe, and comment.
Yes. Be blessed.
Bye-bye, friends.